Pinas Outsider, welcome back to our channel. And for today's video, makikimarites na naman tayo sa mga latest issue at news ngayon. Pero bago yan, huwag kalimutan mag-like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let's go!
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chairman. Maya pabak po, karenggang memalen na ning Bacolor, Pampanga. Mr. Chair, may I direct my questions to PAGCOR?
PAGCOR, you are recognized. Please respond to the questions of Congressman Marcoleta.
Yung PAGCOR po ay may jurisdiction sa lahat ng gambling activities sa ating bansa. Tama po?
Yes, sir. As a general rule, the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation has jurisdiction over all games of chance, except po dun sa covered ng jurisdiction ng other licensing authorities. Ayun pong covered ng local government units at iba pang sangay ng gobyerno po.
Pursuant to your charter, based on Presidential Decree 1869, nag-issue po kayo noong 2016 ng Rules and Regulations for Philippine Offshore Gaming Operations. Tama po?
Yes, sir.
Kung ang inyo pong jurisdiction ay mga gambling activities lang sa Pilipinas at ang regulasyon po ninyo naman ay kinocover ang Philippine Offshore Gaming Operations, di po ba parang may konting problema ang legal basis ng inyong rules and regulations?
Mr. Chair, ang naging basis po, tama po kayo, is PD 1869 at gayon din po yung RA 9487 kung saan sinasabi po na ang PAGCOR ay may kapangyarihang mag-issue ng lisensya para po sa lahat ng games of chance sa Pilipinas except high alay po at yung mga covered po ng ibang sangay ng gobyerno.
Oo nga po, pero pinag-uusapan na po natin ito, offshore gaming corporations, wala na po yata ito doon sa inyong jurisdiction, tama po?
Sa tingin po namin ay mayroon po kaming jurisdiction. However, gaya po ng nabanggit during sa last hearing po ng Public Order and Safety and ang Games and Amusement, kung mayroon pong magko-question ng jurisdiction ng PAGCOR, ay susundin po iyon kung mapapawalang bisa po yung mga batas na nagbibigay ng karapatan sa PAGCOR sa paglilisensya po ng offshore gaming.
Saan po nakabasing legal yung tingin ninyo?
Sorry, sir.
Saan po nakabase? Kasi sabi po nyo sa tingin ninyo. Ano po ang basihan nung pagtingin ninyo na meron kayong jurisdiction sa Pogo?
The PD 1869 at RA 9487 po kung saan nakalagay po doon na ang PAGCOR ay may karapatang mag-operate at maglisensya ng lahat po ng all games of chance and all games of numbers except po yung mga nililisensyahan ng ibang sangay ng gobyerno except high alay po.
Ano po yun? RA 9487?
Yes po.
Sinabi po roon na meron kayong jurisdiction sa Pogo?
Wala pong explicitly po na nakalagay
Yun nga
po
po
doon.
wala nga specific Kasi sabi mo kanina, sa tingin po ninyo. Ibig sabihin, wala po. Tama?
Yun nga pong RA 9487 po ang pinagbatayan po noon, Mr. Chair.
Ano po yun?
Nga pong 9487 po ang pinagbatayan po noon. Hindi po explicitly nakalagay, pero po ang exclusion po na nakalagay po lamang doon ay yung high alay po.
Wala nga pong nakalagay doon It is not explicitly written in the law, Madam. Ngayon po, ang susunod na tanong, ano na po yung ginawa ninyong step or steps in order to fulfill the wish of the President that effective his SONA on July 22, 2024, he said that effective today, the POGOs are banned. Ano na po ang ginawa ng PAGCOR para po ang instruction na ito ng ating Pangulo ay matupad?
Okay po. Sa ngayon po, Mr. Congressman, nag-aaral pa po ang iba't ibang sangay ng gobyerno kung ano po ang mga holistic approach na gagawin po natin para sa pagpapatupad ng total ban. On the side of PAGCOR po, initially, lahat po ng applications, lahat po ng mga additional sites na ina-applyan po ng mga existing licensees po ay hindi na po prinoseso at tinigil na po lahat ng pagproseso ng mga applications at anuman pong makakadagdag pa sa operations ng POGOs, ng internet gaming licensees. Additionally, effective August 1, 2024, nagpatupad na po kami ng hiring ban para po hindi na po tumuloy yung dami po ng mga empleyado sa offshore gaming, sa internet gaming operations. So, tinitingnan po namin na mga sa susunod na buwan ay paunti na po ng paunti yung mga magiging empleyado ng operators po natin. And nakikita din po natin na marami po sa mga licensees ay nagbabawas na rin po ng kanilang mga operational sites. Nag-a-apply po sila voluntarily ng cancellation at unti-unti na po nilang pinapaliit. Ngayong buwan po, pagpapasahin po ng comprehensive plan of winding down on operations lahat ng ating mga operators at susundan po iyon ng PAGCOR para po tuloy-tuloy po yung maayos na pagpapaliit ng kanilang operations hanggang December 31, 2024. Kami din po ay in constant coordination with the Bureau of Immigration and Department of Labor and Employment para naman po sa mga empleyado na maapektuhan ng ban. So, nagko-coordinate po kami kung paano po mabibigyan ng trabaho, yung mga mawawalan po ng trabaho, na lalong-lalo ng mga Pilipino, at paano po sila matutulungan eventually pagka po na-displace po sila dahil sa ban. And yung mga foreign nationals din naman po, para po maayos po silang makalabas ng bansa at hindi po magkaroon ng kaguluhan. Ito po yung mga pinagpepreparahan po natin para po eventually sa pag-wind down and close down of the operations by December 31, 2024, nakalatag na po yung mga plano ng iba't ibang ahensya po ng government po.
Hindi ko po kasi tinatanong kung ano po yung dapat gawin ng mga saklaw ng directive ng Presidente. Ang tinatanong ko lamang po, ano yung ginawa ninyo para matupad ang kanyang directive na effective today, sabi niya po yon, July 22, 2024, ay itigil na po lahat ang gawain ng POGO. Halimbawa po, kinansilan nyo ba, nirevoke nyo ba yung rules and regulations for Philippine Offshore Gaming Corporations, operations? Kinansel nyo na po ba yung inyong rules and regulations?
Sir, yung rules and regulations for Philippine offshore gaming operations ay matagal na pong na-repeal. Hindi na po pinapatupad or hindi na po yun ginagamit as a regulation. Sa ngayon po, sir, ang naging directive po kasi ng Presidente is na-ban na po yung POGO ng July 2022 and inaatasan po ang PAGCOR na i-wind down po yung operations by December 31, 2024. Yung existing rules and regulations po namin, patuloy pa rin po namin pinapatupad pero hindi na po nagdadagdag, hindi na po nag-i-issue ng lisensya ang PAGCOR patungkol po sa internet gaming license po.
Nag-issue po ba kayo ng notice sa lahat ng PAGCOR firms na mula July 22, 2024 ay hindi na po pinapayagan ang inyong mga operations? Nag-issue po ba kayo ng notice sa lahat ng mga may kinalaman sa POGO?
Nag-issue po kami ng memorandum sa aming mga licensees na ito na nga po yung naging desisyon ng Pangulo na iban na po yung POGOs. At habang pina-finalize po yung detalye at proseso ng winding down, pwede po muna silang mag-operate. Yun po ang inisyo po namin, sir.
Please wrap up,
So,
Congressman Marcoleta.
Mr. Chair, binago po ninyo ang utos ng Pangulo. Ang sabi ng Pangulo, wala pong masyadong simple po yung sinabi niya eh. Magmula ngayon, sabi niya, effective today, we are banning all POGO activities. Wala po siyang sinabi na maaari nyo silang palawakin sa iba't ibang pamamaraan hanggang sila'y makapag-wind up. Bakit po binago nyo ang kautusan ng Pangulo?
I think po na klaro naman
Last question,
po ito
Congressman
na binibigyan pa po sila ng hanggang December 31, 2024 po para po unti-unti pong paliitin yung operations po nila.
Mr. Chair, hindi po maliwanag yung sagot nila. Para sa akin ay binabago po ninyo yung kautusan. Napakasimple po ng kautusan ng Pangulo. Simula sa araw na ito, itigil ninyo lahat ang aktibidad na may kinalaman sa POGO. As simple as that. Hindi po ba, akala ko ba nag-issue na kayo ng order sa kanila? Dapat sana po kinabukasan, isinara na po ninyo lahat ang mga POGO para walang problema. Hindi ba dapat ganun po yung inaasahan ng ating mamamayan, Mr. Chair?
I think, Mr. Congressman, bukod po sa naklaro naman po yun, magiging mahirap po na abrupt po yung maging hakbangin po na
Hindi po abrupt yun eh. Ang Pangulo na po ang nagsabi. Wala tayong magagawa doon. Ang sabi po ng Pangulo, simula sa araw na ito, itigil lahat ang POGO. Abrupt po ba yun? Pangulo po ang nagsabi, kayo po ang mananagot dyan kapag sinabi nyo, Mr. President, masyado namang abrupt po ang order ninyo. Sasabihin nyo po ba sa Pangulo yun?
Hindi po, sorry po, hindi po, sir.
Kaya nga po, ang inaasahan po ng mamamayan, kapag sinabi ng Pangulo, simula sa araw na ito, itigil lahat, ang lahat ng gawain may kinalaman sa POGO. Ibig sabihin, tigil po lahat. Hindi ba ganon?
Your time is up, Congressman Marcoleta.
Hindi, pasasagutin ko lang, Mr. Chair. Hindi ba ganon?
Sa tingin ko naman...
Dapat ganon, di ba?
Sir, liliwanagin ko lang po na naklaro naman po na hindi pa po nung araw na yon mahihinto muna yung operations, kundi bibigyan pa po sila ng pagkakataon na i-wind down po yung operations nila hanggang December 31, 2024.
Wala po ako narinig na ganon mula sa Pangulo, Mr. Chair.
Okay, please ask the same question on the second round. Thank you, Congressman Marcoleta. The next interpellator is from the minority. Representative Franz Castro, you're recognized. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, yung mga questions ko po. So, nandiyan po ba yung DOLE, BI, and PISA? PESA, Mr. Chair. May representative po
Bureau
ba?
of Immigration. BI. Can you
Bureau of
repeat the question?
Immigration, Bureau of Immigration, DOLE, and PESA.
Yes, please proceed.
Okay.
Ay,
So, ang question ko po ay para doon sa BI, pwede rin sumagot ang DOLE at saka yung PESA and other economic zone. So, pagpasok po ba ng ating mga workers na galing sa ibang bansa? So, meron po ba tayong, meron po ba silang mga sinubmit na mga working visa or working visa or working permit sa BI po?
Madam Chair, karamihan po ng mga POGO workers, when they arrived here, they were using the regular temporary visitor visa, and then dito po sila nagko-convert ng working visa.
So wala po ba ni isa na pumasok sa ating bansa na talagang mag-work sila dito at meron silang mga visa?
Nung pumasok po sila dito, kung mga restricted national po sila, like Chinese or Indian, bibigyan po, may dala po sila mga entry visa issued ng mga ng DFA, ng mga consulate natin.
So ano po yung visa nila, Mr. Chair?
Ang tawag po doon ay temporary visitor visa.
So pag temporary visa, Mr. Chair, mga ilang buwan lang dapat sila andi dito?
Ang initial po na bibigay sa kanila is 3 months kapag may binigyan sila ng 3 months po kapag may entry visa po sila.
Okay. So yan po yung common na mga visa na natatanggap natin na pumapasok dito. So
Pag mga restricted po, kasi pag mga non-restricted na tinatawag, yung mga Europeans, Americans, hindi na po nila kailangan ng entry visa. So passport lang po, ina-admit na po natin sila.
Okay. So, Mr. Chair, parang very general no yung sagot. So, can we have a report? No.
Chair, hanapin po namin yung data for that po.
Okay. So, mahalaga ito, Mr. Chair, no, kasi para sa policy natin, no, doon sa pagpasok ng mga foreigner na pumapasok dito dahil gusto talaga natin na ma-define kung ano ba talaga yung gagawin nila dito sa ating bansa. If it is tourists, if they will work, if they will be students, etc. Kasi ang ginagamit kasi nila yung mga entry visa nila dito as for example, mga students sila or tourists and afterwards nagko-convert. So ito yung nakita nating pattern no doon sa mga workers, foreign workers na nagpupunta rito. Okay, next Mr. Speaker, doon sa ating POGO ay sa PAGCOR, Mr. Chair. So, ang tanong natin sa PAGCOR, Mr. Chair, saang city or province pinakamaraming mga illegal POGO at saan din ang pinakamaraming legal?
Una po muna dun sa legal po, na pinakamarami po siguro is National Capital Region po, Makati and Pasay po. And then for the illegal po, siguro po within Metro Manila din po.
Wala po bang mga nasa mga provinces and other LGU aside from the NCR? So, hindi. Ang sinasabi natin, yung pinakamarami, can you specify? Kasi very general yung sinasabi mong mga illegal POGOs, ang pinakamarami ay dito rin sa NCR. Pero di ba sa mga pagdinig dito sa Kongreso, may mga nakita tayo, halimbawa dito sa Pampanga, sa Bamban, meron sa Cavite. So, ano po yung difference nung dami nung sinasabi nyo sa Metro Manila or NCR as regards dun sa mga probinsya, Mr. Chair?
Ang pinagbasehan po nung naging statement na yon is kung babasihan po natin yung file po ng PAOK, sa 400 plus po na nasa listahan po natin, karamihan po sa nakansela at sa na-issue before and nakansela na po ay nasa National Capital Region. However, meron din po tayong mga mangilan-ngilan na licensees na nagtigil na po or nag-cancel na po ng kanilang mga lisensya pero nasa ibang lugar po or nasa ibang probinsya po ng Pilipinas. Pero po karamihan pa din po sa mga nakansela na wala na pong lisensya ay nasa National Capital Region po.
Mr. Chair, can we have a list of those pogos na sinasabi nila na pinakamarami sa NCR na legal at saka yung mga nakansela na?
We will provide po, Congressman.
Yes, during our last meeting, meron kayong sinubmit na more than 42 na mga legal pogos. Tama ba yon? At merong isa na nakansela rin.
Apo.
Okay, so etong mga legal pogos na to, nabigyan nyo na po ng order
Yes po.
na hanggang December 31 lang.
Tama po.
So ilan po yung mga involved na mga Filipino workers?
Ayon po sa huling data po namin is nasa 33,100 Filipino workers po yung kasalukuyan po na ini-empleyo ng mga licensed po natin.
Please wrap up, Congressman Castro.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Kasi dito sa mga workers natin sa Pilipinas na mawawala ng trabaho by December 31, meron na pong mga sumusulat sa atin. Ngayon, dapat meron na kayong contingency plan kung paano po mabibigyan halimbawa ng trabaho itong 33,000 in coordination with other government agencies.
Sorry sir, meron na pong
Okay, can you submit those plan? Kasi may mga kababayan tayo talaga na sumusulat na paano na daw sila by December 31.
Okay. Congresswoman, with regard po dun sa mga trabaho na ito, para po sa mga madi-displace, meron po tayo mga kasalukuyang plano and sa ngayon po ay patuloy po yung profiling nung mga 33,000 na yon para po ma-match po natin sila sa mga open jobs and opportunities po na pwede po nilang pasukan after po nitong effectivity po ng ban.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yun lang po.
Thank you, Congresswoman Castro. Next interpellator is Congressman
Mr. Chair.
Roldan Suwan.
Mr. Chair,
Before that, yes, Chair Abante.
in relation lang doon sa question ni Congressman Marcoleta sa PAGCOR, I just would like to ask, yung PAGCOR, yung NBI, yung PIDEA, yung Philippine National Police, kung sila nagkaroon ng command conference, pagkatapos sabihin ng Pangulo na ihinto na ang PAGCOR, ihinto na ang POGO. Yun ang gusto kong itanong.
We will just ask the agencies concerned
Yes,
for the
yes.
reply later, Congressman Abante, after we finish all the listed
Okay.
in the sheet, if that would be all right with you, Chair Abante.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
we proceed with Congressman Roldan Suwan. You are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. May I direct my questions to PAGCOR? Ma'am, Republic Act 9160 or the Anti-Money Laundering Act of 2001, as amended, has added casinos, including internet and ship-based casinos, to the coverage of the Act. In line with this, the PAGCOR Anti-Money Laundering Supervision and Enforcement Division was created, or the PASED, to set out and enforce effective anti-money laundering and countering of the financing of terrorism. Now, one of the things that PASED does is to conduct on-site inspections and off-site examinations. May I ask if these inspections or examinations are still being conducted or were ever conducted as regards POGOs?
Mr. Chair, yes, the PASED po conducts on-site inspections po to the internet gaming licensees po.
So if they conducted examinations or inspections on POGO operations, how frequently were they conducted?
Mr. Chair, I'm not really familiar po kung gaano ka-frequent po nila ito ginagawa. But we can submit po reports on the result of the on-site checks conducted by the PASED po.
Yes. Can you also include the manner in which such examinations were conducted, how often, and the time when these inspections were started in our country?
Will do po.
On another note, on pages 35 to 40 of PAGCOR's Citizens Charter Handbook, there is a checklist of requirements which must be complied with by applicants in order for them to be granted an internet gaming license. And one of these requirements is the result of evaluation conducted by an accredited probity checker. An accredited probity checker of the OGLD, or Offshore Gaming Licensing Department of the PAGCOR. Now, according to the Internet Gaming Definitions Regulations of PAGCOR, a probity checker is an entity who is responsible for the verification of the identity of applicants and to include all officials of the corporate applicant, their finances, their integrity, competency, and criminal associations. May we know who these checkers are, these probity checkers?
Right now, sir, we have 2 probity checkers duly published in our website. It's the Pacific Strategies and Assessments Company and the Filipino Incorporated po.
So, do you have a list of which probity checker or checkers were assigned to what particular POGO?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you please furnish us a list of the identities of these probity checkers and what POGO they were assigned to?
Will do po.
Thank you. And my last question, Mr. Chair. So one of the requirements for foreign nationals to be granted an offshore gaming employment license is a clearance from the National Police. So what steps or mechanisms were being used by the Philippine National Police to ensure that the applicant has no criminal record in their country of origin? May I actually address this to the PNP? So my question was, one of the requirements of foreign nationals to be granted an offshore gaming employment license is a clearance from the National Police. So what steps were taken in order to make sure that these people were not criminals in their country of origin?
PNP?
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Your Honors. I'm Police Brigadier General Nicolas Salvador, the Acting Director for Operations. Pertaining to your questions, Your Honor, the PNP doesn't have the mandate with respect to requiring foreign nationals, especially with respect to national police clearance. And I believe that is the mandate that will come from the Bureau of Immigration, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you for that clarification, sir. I'm done.
Thank you, Congressman Suwan. The next to interpolate is our Deputy Speaker, Antonio Tonipet Albano. You are
Thank you,
recognized.
Mr. Chair. It is important to note that POGO is a national threat to the Philippine economy, and therefore POGO is a national threat to our national security. Let me state that the Congress right now, you can see most of the red leaders of almost 100 leaders of Congress here because we want to know for sure whether or not we can defeat this kind of criminality that is in our country. Is elucidating what the threat is to our Philippine economy. Secretary Ralph Recto and DBM Secretary Mina has said that our second quarter growth is 6.5%, that the economic gains only is very minuscule with POGO, with 0.05 contribution to our GDP, which is nothing compared to the horrible impact and corruptible consequences of these criminalities such as POGOs having been linked to crimes of human trafficking, money laundering, tax evasion, etc., and it hurts our Philippine economic rating. And now I'd like to direct my question to the Anti-Money Laundering Council, who is represented here.
Amlak.
AMLAC, please identify yourself.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Chair. I'm Attorney Eranio Dumalet, Deputy Director for our Financial Crimes Investigation Group.
Attorney Dumale, is it true that because of this POGO, we are now under the watch of the international credit rating community and we could be blacklisted if this goes on?
Mr. Chair, the matter regarding POGOs and...
Can you speak louder because there's an echo?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. It's among the matters that are being monitored by the Financial Action Task Force. It's included in among our action plan items, Mr. Chair.
And what is our status of our credit rating now?
I have
Does
no
this
idea.
affect our, of course, economic security when AMLAC in the world is looking into the anti-money laundering activities that are happening in the Philippines due to POGO?
Mr. Chair, with respect to that monitoring by the Financial Action Task Force, we have already reduced from 18 to 3 our remaining action plan items, Mr. Chair.
And have we answered at least, have you explained to the international community that we are doing something about it so that we cannot be blacklisted?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we are making progress in our mutual evaluation. We are making progress on that, Mr. Chair, and we are reporting on a regular basis to the Financial Action Task Force, Mr. Chair.
Thank you for your answer. Again, Philippine economy is threatened because illicit money funds lead to asset bubbles. And this resorts to market distortions. Example, yung real estate po natin sa Pilipinas ay tumataas at yung mga legitimate business cannot compete with the higher cost ng availability of offices and space rentals and the likes. Now let me go to the Philippine Gaming Corporation, Attorney Fernandez.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it true that what Congressman Dante Marcoleta has been saying, that it is legal for you to have the numbers game? And that is the reason for President Duterte issuing Executive Order number 13 that allowed you to create POGO?
Sir, the Executive Order number 13 is a clarification of the jurisdiction of the gaming authorities that are allowed to issue licenses po for offshore gaming.
If your statement a while ago says that you are already allowed, why do you need this Executive Order number 13?
Mr. Chair, the EO is a clarification of the jurisdiction. It states there, sinasabi po dito, na kapag hindi po malinaw yung jurisdiction ng mga licensing authorities, nakakaapekto po ito sa proper regulation ng gambling sa Pilipinas po.
Then with your May statement, you are admitting to this body that the illegal POGOs within your jurisdiction or not within your jurisdiction is false and should be illegal and should be